Hi, John Valsavari here. Looking today about introducing the project, okay, the AI for Good project. Before we get started, just make sure that you've got a copy of this page, this lesson 2 page, in your workbook, okay? So just make sure that you're in your section and not in the content library. Just that little OneNote issues there. If for whatever reason, any of these videos, if you're sitting there and you can't engage with the technology, anything that you can produce is good, right? So if there's questions here and you think, I can't quite get into the OneNote, just type them up in an email and send them that way. Worst case, if you have to do some of these tasks by hand, that's okay. Like, that's better than nothing. You know what I mean? Don't just get stressed about it. We're all in this together. Let's do the best that we can. So the project, individually, to create an AI product design about the concept of accessibility. So accessibility is providing everyone with the opportunity to obtain or use something in the same way. So it's all about the people accessing a service or being able to do something. We can all do it the same way. Everyone, as many people as possible. Getting more people to be able to use it makes it more accessible. Okay? Young, old, all around the world, more and more people makes it more accessible. It can amplify human capability to improving the way that someone does something. AI can empower people with tools that support independence. So, all kinds of different things that can do that. I was about to say wheelchair, that's not really AI. But that's accessibility. Helps someone get around that otherwise may not be able to. It can assist with usability. Okay, so can be something a bit more easy to use, how to use something. And it aims to promote equality, so to give everyone the same opportunity. Okay. So here are some example projects that have been done in the past. So smart socks. They've got GPS tracking in them. Can monitor, they're wearable. Wandering assistive technology. The idea being, I suppose, that people that wander off, maybe people with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia, instead of them sort of being, I suppose, lost somewhere. They might still be lost, but you'd be able to track them as to where they are and be able to find them and help them get back to somewhere safe. Fits an adult shoe, so that you monitor the whereabouts of loved ones may tend to wander or at risk of being lost. It's got an app that goes with it. HelpPicto is a pictogram app for children who are non-verbal. So it uses speech to text to generate sentences and leverages language understanding to categorize keywords. So using images to help with speech, I think. Looks pretty cool. This one, so this guy quite likes this one. Part police and ambulance regulating traffic. So there's a flaw in the system, right? There's a problem that's been identified. So ambulance signaling system is inaudible greater than 100 meters. Sirens are non-directional, meaning that only 1 in 4 drivers can actually identify where the vehicle's coming from. So you might hear an ambulance, you might kind of go, is it behind me? Is it in front of me? Is it over there? Is it over there? You don't really know where it is. That's the problem, I suppose, that Vinny Kumar has identified. And the solution that he's come up with for that is that the mobile service provider, like a Telstra, something like that, sends a message that's then received in the car. Gives drivers more time to move over, which means less slowing down for the ambulance. So if someone was using like a, I'm not going to guess exactly how it works, I don't know, 100% know, but it could work that it tells Google Maps that if you're following directions from Google Maps, it might sort of say, hey, just so you know, there's like an accident here, and sort of direct you around that. Yeah, because obviously we don't want people, checking their phone messages when they're driving. Microsoft Translator, so improving accuracy of real-time captions for students who are deaf or hard of hearing. I think that's great. So if you had, imagine if you could be listening to your teacher in the classroom, that'd be pretty cool on itself. But if you could sort of get captions as it was happening, that'd be pretty cool. Sometimes I've watched movies, and even though the movie's in English, I put subtitles on just to really be able to make sure I'm understanding what they say. Sometimes I find that a bit easier. So I think that's a really good one. And it's a scrunched up bowl of paper. I think I've zoomed in too much. Brainstorm. So we're going to answer the questions on the right to help us start thinking about what projects we might start doing. We're going to answer these individually, or we could contact a friend that we might want to work with, okay? So, what is accessibility? If you're still not sure, that's okay. Do a bit of research online, Google, things like that. Put your answer in there. What is exclusion? And identify some areas in the community where people might feel excluded over lack of accessibility. So examples, people with vision impairment at the local library, people at the beach that don't know how to swim. So pause the video there, and we'll come back and talk about it shortly. Okay, welcome back. So what is accessibility? I think in my words, it's about, I tried to say this earlier, but it's about enabling more people to be able to use like a service, I suppose. We're all going to have different answers there, and that'll be fine. Exclusion is when any particular person is unable to use that service, I suppose, for whatever reason. Okay. Areas in the community people might feel excluded, have a lack of accessibility. Yeah, could be. Yeah, there are some examples there. They're pretty good examples. All right, let's move on. Now that you know what AI and accessibility is, you are to start thinking about what product you might create. List down your ideas, words, images, drawings, whatever sort of, however you think. Like if you like thinking in words or writing things down in words, that's fine. If you want to just draw some pictures about your ideas, that's cool too. So put your ideas here, and these are some questions to sort of help you with those. So who will it be for? And what's it going to help people do? Okay, so just pause this video. Spend about 15 minutes trying to put your ideas down there, and then we'll come back shortly. Okay, welcome back. I didn't write anything here, but I'll tell you what my ideas, my brief idea might have been. Something, yeah. We've got a new library at school, or it's sort of, I don't even know what stage it's at because I'm not there today, but a virtual tour of that library so that people know how to get their way around it. It would improve accessibility for, anxious teenagers, I suppose, about what the new library might look like. They can become more familiar with it, know where to find things, feel a bit more comfortable at getting there, finding the way around, I suppose. Yeah. Okay. Next task. Go through all your options and select one of your favorites. Okay. From task 3, you've made a few ideas. Task 4 is sort of pick one and sort of make it a bit more detailed. Okay. And this time I've got these 4 questions here to sort of, flesh out a bit more about our main idea. Okay. So what is your AI for accessibility product? What have you chosen? Who is it going to assist? How will it assist them? And what is the AI component of your product? So going off the example of the virtual tour for the new library, that's what it is, I suppose. It might help some anxious users of the library feel a bit more comfortable before they go into the library for the first time. How will it assist them? It'll give them like a virtual tour, so they'll be able to sort of go through the library, see where the different books are, and get a feel for the layout of the library, I suppose. The AI component, it's a good question. A really good question. I had to pause the recording there just to sort of think about how to do that. To the AI part, maybe it could be showing like preferences, I suppose, for a particular student. So the student wants to feel more comfortable going through the library, and it might be that they are a Year 7 English student, and they've got a particular text, and maybe the virtual tour could help them with where in the library that they should look for that book, I suppose. That's how I could sort of work AI into that accessibility project a bit better than I initially had thought would work. Yeah, so pause the video there and finish that one off. Once you're actually, don't pause the video. Oh, if you did, I'm really sorry. Once you finish these questions, just make sure you put all your answers in OneNote, and that'll sort of be it for the lesson. So just email through anything to your teacher and put your answers in OneNote. Thanks for watching.